Okay, I hope this works on my first round because I don't have a whole lot of time today, but I wanted to get back in touch with everyone. I wanted to give you an update on my hand and talk about next things that will be happening here on the channel. So thank you to all of those who are newly subscribed. I really, really appreciate your interest in my channel. And as always, I would love, love, love if you all would post comments. Let me know if there's any kind of art and craft that you're particularly interested in. Then I'll be glad to, if it's something that I think I can show with confidence or not confidence, but you know, we'll just struggle along together. I'm glad to give it a shot. I love to craft. I love all forms of art. I've done just about everything that there is to do that is small enough to fit inside a house. So I hope that you'll find things on this channel that you can enjoy. And I do appreciate this community very much. And thank you for your kind wishes for my surgery. And it has gone very, very well, although I'm going to tell you a few things that are cautionary tales today, but I would still go back and do this surgery in a heartbeat because I do think it's going to make a big difference in the long term. So having said all that, I had my surgery on April 25th. It was basal thumb surgery from basal thumb arthritis. And I have another little video that I did that was showing you kind of the process with the cast and the splint and all of that. I had what's called the mini tightrope, which has a much faster out of cast trajectory. And I'm grateful for that. If I had had to be in a cast for 6 weeks, I'm sure I would have survived, but I would have gone a little bit bonkers. As it is, this is, I am not exaggerating to say, the recovery discomfort is some of the worst I've experienced. And I've had some pretty major surgeries in my life. And I think that is due to the fact that hands have so many nerve endings. Your touch is so sensitive, and because of that, any inflammation in your hands, which if you've had any kind of injury, you know what I'm talking about, any inflammation is going to hurt, regardless of the fact that I've had a surgery that has removed a bone and then has had a little sutured tightrope built into my hand. So that is to be expected, that this would be very painful. And I know that intellectually, but I don't think I don't know if you can be. Oh, sorry for the shaking. I don't know if you can be prepared for what that feels like. And the shaking, I'm on a new platform here. My husband built me this wonderful standing craft desk, and I'm so excited about it. And at some point I'll take not today, but I will take the camera down and show you what it looks like. It's really useful and helpful, but it does shake. And so I've got to figure out how to deal with that. And I'll have get his help up here on, you know, somehow either needing to set it on a platform that doesn't shake, or I'm just going to have to be more conscious, or I was shaking that on purpose, or I may have to hang my I'm turning off my fan because I think that's adding to some of the visible shakiness. I may have to have well, I'll just have to deal with the shakiness somehow. There are ways to do that. I may have to hang my filming equipment from the ceiling rather than being connected to this device, or set it up on some kind of other arm that's separate from this device, but I'll get that worked out. Anyway, sorry for the segue. Let's get back to business. Because I had my dominant hand dealt with first, I had to put a lot more work on my left hand, which also has issues. And because of that, the carpal tunnel issue has really flared up. Now, I expect that to abate a bit once this hand becomes much more functional. But for now, that's why I'm wearing this clunky brace on there. Again, as I say these things that are a little bit cautionary, I am still very grateful that I had this surgery, and I'm not at all dissuaded that it was the right thing to do. So I'm very, very excited to see that things will get better. I apologize for the blue on my fingers. I was playing with some things and some dyes, and my fingernails are so dry that, of course, it absorbed it, and I'll have to deal with that. But anyway, let me show you what's going on. So this is the primary, I hope that's in center. This is the primary place for surgery. This is where they had to go in and take out the bone and I'm sure do some of the suture structure. I had another little spot on the back, which you can no longer see, where they did the suture into this hand. And I can actually feel the little suture button right there. Usually it stays tucked down into your muscles, but mine popped out of there, and that's no big deal. It'll be just, you know, it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just that I notice that I can feel it. And then I had a trigger finger that needed to have a trigger finger release. Now this has been a bit of an aggravation because before I got my hand out of the cast, this finger was more immobilized than I expected. And what has happened is that tendon area has grown very stiff, and it hurts quite a bit, and I'm going to have to work on loosening this scar tissue to allow that finger to lay more flat. Now, it may never lay, I may never be able to curve it like I can the other hand, because this is really locked tight, but it's perfectly functional. It's just that was, having done those at the same time, I guess I probably wouldn't have done that. I think I would have gone back for a trigger finger surgery maybe, but we'll see. As it gets better, I'm sure my viewpoint on that will change. It was nice to get them done while I was under and not have to worry about it, but there it is. But this, I have a lot of movement. I'm very, very pleased that I'm able to get through all my exercises. They do hurt, and I think they hurt as much from getting my fingers used to this suture tightrope as I think it is also the inflammation, which is normal and natural when you have that kind of invasive surgery. So my hand is a little less swollen today because I've spent about 2 hours getting it iced and alternating ice and off ice, and so that's let it go down some, but that's going to continue for several weeks to be an aggravation. But again, small potatoes compared to the constant, really harsh pain that I was feeling prior to the surgery. My original surgical area, area that was hurting so badly from the basal thumb arthritis does not hurt at all. It's strictly recovery pain that I'm feeling. So I'm very happy with that. I can do this. I cannot do that with this hand yet. It's getting there. It's awfully close. I can get it right to there, no problem. But as I slide down, that hurts all the way back down my hand. I was surprised that I also have pain up in my forearm, but they tell me that's because your thumb tendons go quite a ways up, and so they're all inflamed as they try to recover, and so that will get better too. But I have to be very faithful with my exercises in order to make sure that I get back as much of the movement as I can. My doctor tells me that it will be, the next 6 weeks will be really challenging and require, as he said, a lot of courage. And I know that has to do with, you gotta exercise it, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna swell, and you're gonna not want to exercise it. But you've gotta do that good work to get back all that full movement, and I'm determined that I'm going to do that. I don't know if I will do this hand. I'm 72, and I hope to live, you know, and craft and have things to do with my hands until I'm, you know, another 15, 20 years older. But of course, we don't know that. And so I'm going to do a wait and see. If this one gets better once I'm getting more action with this hand, then I may just deal with the low level pain that I have on this. A brace, once I use a brace for a bit, or if I use it whenever I'm doing anything strong, the pain is not constant and it is tolerable. The numbness from the carpal tunnel is another thing, and so we'll see. But at the moment, I certainly won't do this within this year. I would certainly want this hand to be fully recovered, because I still have to use this hand to do certain things that this hand can't do. I cannot unscrew a pop bottle, for example, or a can, especially, a jar, especially a new jar. And honestly, as the PT person told me, we shouldn't be doing that anyway. If you squeeze and pull, turn, and it doesn't turn, and you've got to really grit, you should be using a jar opener and not your hand, because we are, as humans in this century, we are using our hands so much for so many things that anything we can do to take the pressure off of them is in our long-term best interest. So if nothing else is taken away from this, I hope that you can, if your hands are not hurting, or if your arthritis is very simple right now, I hope that you will begin to do a lot of self-care for your hands. Do things like warm wax therapy from time to time, and if it is hurting even a small amount, put some ice on it if you're sitting still listening to something or watching TV or whatever. Give yourself some self-care to extend the health of your hands as long as you possibly can. So now, next things that I want to talk about. The hands are the hands. And I don't anticipate doing another update on my hands. You'll just see it as you see me working in the future. But in the last video, I mentioned that I might be wanting to do a little bit of alcohol inks, and taking a tile and doing something that you can do just for yourself, or you can do it with a group of ladies, or you can do it with kids. It's super easy to drip alcohol ink onto a tile, blow it with a straw, or blow it with if you happen to have a little makeup airbrush with anything in it, or if you have a can of canned air that you use on your computer, you can always use that to blow things around and make pretty designs. And I will show some of the pretty designs in another video at some point. But I was not happy with what I was able to do with those inks and my hands. I was able to do some things that are fun for me, but they would not be fun as I thought they would be for like kids or groups, because it's just with my hands right now, I can't control it well enough for it to create the kinds of interesting things that I normally could before. So I'm not going to demonstrate that. I'll show you what I did just for fun at some point, so that you can see that there are things that are fun to do, even though they may not be floral. They're just fun to do as designs. And I'll talk a little bit about how to seal them and stuff like that. So if you do sit down and do something like that with just yourself, or with kids, or with ladies, it's an inexpensive little quick craft, but I'm not going to do a video on that whole thing. So I think the very next thing that I'm going to do is going to be probably another paper craft, something simple for the summer, something fun to do. I enjoy doing gifts for friends a lot, or just even acquaintances, especially like at church, or with groups that I'm in, that I just like I just like to make people smile. So I like to do little silly packages. And so I may do one of those kinds of things and give you some ideas that I have enjoyed doing. And that's always fun, especially if you have someone that you want to do just a little surprise gift. Maybe they're having a hard time or low in spirits and you just want to let them know somebody cares. Or if they're having a great time and you just want to add to their enjoyment of what's going on, so you can tailor to that. Long story short, so my next video will be a crafting video. I thank you all for your patience as I went through my recovery. I look forward to our next time together and getting down and creative and messy hands and having a lot of fun. I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. This is being filmed right before Father's Day. If you're a father-to-be, grandfather, or you know someone who is, I just hope that your time this weekend will be especially delightful. And thank you all for you watching. Please do take a moment to subscribe and like and share. And that helps me to eventually reach my goal with my channel and then be able to afford to continue to do fun videos with y'all. And I thank you again. Have a great day.